Okay. Awesome. We are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Okay. Beautiful. Hello, everyone. I'm Sudha Jamthe, and this is Sudha Live. And this is my happy hour with you on Fridays. I'm joining you here from Silicon Valley. I'm a technology futurist, and I love teaching the latest exponential technologies. And I've done IoT, autonomous vehicles, AI for many years. And the latest, greatest in generative AI is the new buzz and hype. And that's what we're going to talk about. And in Sudha Live, what I do is I cover AI opportunities. I scan through the week, I play with different things, form my opinions on everything that's launching and everything that comes across my way. I go looking for things also because I want to bring information to you. And so what we'll cover here is AI opportunities in the form of events, jobs, call for papers. And there's a lot of interesting activities that is happening in the generative AI space with new innovation centers from various different groups, competitions, and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring those to you. So that's what we are planning. And today is extra special because I promised you that I will answer questions about my new course that has launched on LinkedIn Learning. I have 3 courses on LinkedIn Learning, and you can find it directly from the LinkedIn app, or you can find it if you look for my name. Let me go and show you how to get to it. So I am Sudha Jamthe, right? You can search for Sudha Jamthe and then look for courses. Let me show that. This is like a skill you can get to look for any in LinkedIn instructor. So let me share my screen. Let me go to this window, which is a LinkedIn window, right? So you go to LinkedIn window and you say, I'm looking for any course from Sudha Jamthe. And you will see, are you looking for posts or people or companies? You'll go to my profile. Okay. Instead, you can just say click courses and it'll show you all my courses. So this is my list of courses. Many of you are joining here after taking my no code AI regular, learning AI, like harnessing the power of AI without programming, right? Many of you have come from there. And then some of you have come from this AI in connected products, which is about cameras and IoT devices and AI from that. Finally, AI is built with data. And so I use various different data from various different sources to teach you AI. So that's beautiful. Okay, so my newest course is No Code Generative AI for Business Professionals. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I just want to make sure that I answer your question. So what I'm going to do is right after I go in and show an intro of this, I'm going to get out of the share and I'm going to go to LinkedIn. So thank you for everybody who's joining me here. And like I always say each week, I see you as a number. And right at the top, it keeps showing the numbers going up, and I see who those people are in terms of numbers. I don't see who you are unless you make yourself visible. So I would like for you to introduce yourself if you want, or ask a question. Have you taken any of my courses? Have you taken any other courses? Are you considering taking any course? Do you know AI? Are you new to generative AI? So, and so I'm seeing now some people who are already taking my courses, the newer one. And so if you've taken that course, I would love to get your feedback. I would like to see what you're doing with this, right? Did you just learn generative AI because it's new? Or did you already work with generative AI or have aspirations of projects and plans? And then you said, can I do this with no code? And then, come into this. So I'm not here to just market for my class, right? Because you're here taking the course, I'm going to answer your questions. But for those of you who are in our regulars, following me, and I teach in various places. I teach AI at Stanford Continuing Studies. I teach AI ethics at Barcelona Technology School to 4 different master's programs. So my calling is to teach you AI so that you can find your place to build AI, because AI is not built just by one group of people. I also teach AI ethics because there's a whole bunch of activities in regulation and a bunch of jobs in responsible AI, right? So we will answer questions from various different dimensions based on who you are, what you want me to talk about. So first, I'm going to show you just a little intro to this course. I need to go. I'll go through my personal account, not through Stanford. Here we go. You're seeing the screen?
Everywhere.
It's in the middle. It starts my sentence in the middle.
Generative AI is chatting with your customers everywhere. What is stopping you from building this powerful set of artificial intelligence technologies? I'm here to show you that every one of you can build Gen AI with zero coding. Foundation models, fine tuning, LLM, RAG, so much jargon. In this fun hands on course, I will demystify all of the jargons for you. I'll teach you an easy 3-step framework that you can use to build Gen AI products. And then together, we'll build an AI assistant, a chatbot, and an intelligent AI agent. I'm Sudha Jamthe. I'm a technology futurist and author of 7 books. I love mentoring business leaders to innovate using no code AI and can't wait to bring you into this fabulous world of building generative AI.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here. So for those of you who are new, would get a sense of what this is. I'm going to look at LinkedIn, come back to you. Okay, so come back here because I want to show you the kind of topics that I have covered. I'm not going to go into the course. So, but I'm here to answer your questions. So let me see who is out there. Let me go to LinkedIn. Oh my God, so many of you. Okay, so welcome. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And I've been saying, oh, more numbers are going up. I appreciate you guys. I really mean it. I mean, I do this live wherever I am, however busy I am, because I just love to engage with you and keep my promise to you. And I have students from everywhere coming in. And you have questions, you are learning, you're out to change the world. So I'm very grateful that you've chosen to, spend this time with me. Okay, so can you give me, if you are working, question for you. Are you already working in AI or are you new to AI? And if you are working in AI, maybe you can tell me what kind of things you're working on, what industry you're working on. Or if you're new to AI, you can say, I don't want you to come and say, I'm new to AI and put that on a comment if you don't want to. That's totally fine. You can actually say, I'm working in this industry. I want to build AI in this kind of areas. Or do you want to build a chatbot? Is that what this is about? The big question with generative AI, is it about building chatbots? Because I believe generative AI is a lot more than chatbots. Building chatbots uh, is not end of the world. I mean, it's like oversimplifying generative AI. Why does it matter? Generative AI is much, 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 much bigger than chatbots. But we see chatbots. So question for you. And being a teacher, if you don't ask me questions, I'm going to ask you questions. And thank you guys for those of you who are joining new. Feel free to add one of the emojis if you like. Uh, and they're only positive ones, right? And there's a funny one. I'm like I say this, my aspiration is to get you, do one of those laughing emojis and give you a joke one day. But right now I'm talking serious stuff. Gen AI, is this real? Is this hype? So I'm here to answer questions about my Gen AI course, the no code. It's a no dash code. I just realized that in LinkedIn Learning, all my courses are with no dash code. And so when you put it in a hashtag, it becomes a hash no dash, and then the code goes away. And it doesn't show that as a hashtag. So that's how it is written. No dash code, generative AI for business professionals. So my question to you is generative AI about building chatbots? Yes or no? You can just say that. If it is a yes, you can do a thumbs up. If you don't want to type, that's all right too. Is there more to it? So if you don't do a thumbs up, I'm assuming it's you're on the no camp. If you're not, so tell me if the question is generative AI all about chatbots? Or it's a big part of generative AI is about chatbots? if I'm going to teach you to build generative AI, because everything I teach, I like everybody who is not coding, who is a product manager, business manager, a lawyer, architect, designers, doing different things. But I would like you to learn AI from me in such a way that you can build stuff. So my focus is on building stuff. That's why I have a lot of product managers who are my students. But even if you're a business development person, you have to understand the nitty-gritties of the layer of tech between the depths of tech and the high-level business considerations in technology industry, because then you can come up with smart ideas on what can be done in collaborations. So I think it's important to learn to build. That's why I like you to build stuff, right, in my courses, but with no code. And when I say no code, I don't even show Python on the screen. So my question to you is generative AI about chatbots? Yes or no? And give me a just an emoji. That's okay too. Is generative AI about chatbots? And if you say it is anything else, then that's great too. But my next question, and thank you for everybody who's responding, I appreciate that. So my next question is, if generative AI is about chatbots, why is it about chatbots? Because we're seeing chatbots. It started, generative AI did not start with ChatGPT, but that's what got it to become famous and more pervasive. So we had foundation models even before that. And so why are we seeing so many chatbots? And with generative AI, what is it with generative AI and chatbots? What is it that uh, we are seeing so many chatbots? So one example I hear people say is you use generative AI to go build customer support chatbots, and it'll reduce cost of, live customer support and the like. But it's more than that. Why is it that you're seeing a lot more chatbots or chat interfaces when it comes to generative AI? When you're talking to ChatGPT, how does it work? You prompt, you chat, and it gives you a response. And so a lot of things in generative AI is about prompting or engaging. There's a customer touch point. And some of you mentioned this because in the last couple of weeks when I've been talking to you on Sudha Live, I was saying, what is the difference between traditional AI and generative AI? Even if you're new to AI, it is important to understand AI is trained by data, and you bring data from your company. And the way foundation models were built was they picked data from all over the internet, whether they had rights for it or not. That's why there's an issue on copyrights on data that was trained to use Gen AI models. And with that, the AI is built. So AI is built with data, and it's a lot of data. And you can bring your enterprise data, or it could be data from the internet as it has been built with Gen AI. And then that AI is going to make some prediction. That is the foundation of all AI. Now, with generative AI, there is a touch point. You have to chat with ChatGPT and it replies back. You have to prompt it and say, draw this picture for me, and it draws that for you. So there is a customer touch point or a user, what is called as human computer interface, HCI, right? So that makes generative AI different from all other AI. And that's why you see a lot of chatbots, because ChatGPT is a chatbot, and then it is intelligent chatbot. It understands context and continues conversation. So why can't it continue conversation for customer support? For e-commerce. For e-commerce, we actually have chatbots being added on major e-commerce sites, and they are chatbots. Find this information for me. What used to be search versus browse, and I come from e-commerce, working in eBay many years in the past. So what used to be search, customer searches for something, that's their intent. Can we fetch that information? Otherwise, we lead them to browse into our catalog. Now, a chatbot can chat with us. So we are going to a lot of chatbots with intelligent chatbots, right? I'm adding a comment here, intelligent chatbots. So is Gen AI about, I'm going to put that question here, is Gen AI about chatbots or something else? I gave you the answer partially, guys. So for those of you, I've seen more new people coming in. Thank you, guys. If you have already taken my Gen AI, the no-code generative AI for business professionals course, I'm happy to answer specific questions. I know in the course area in LinkedIn Learning, they have a Q&A section where you can post questions. We could do that too. And I do watch that periodically and will come and answer your questions. But beyond that, this hour, I bring opportunities, jobs, and calls and events and stuff in the Gen AI space. So today I've said I'm going to answer your questions related to this course if you're considering Gen AI courses, especially if you're looking at my course. So my question is, Gen AI is different from traditional AI because you see a lot of chatbots. And my question is it all about chatbots? And just to speed up our conversation, I'm going to tell you it is not just only about chatbots. It's about where the customer is at the center of this. AI is trained on data and makes predictions, but when it makes predictions, there is a customer touch point, the customer at the center of it. That is why I think Gen AI is so much more important for you as a business person, because data scientists will build stuff, engineers will build product, UX designers, you design the interface. So when it has a human computer interface, you have to come in the middle of this, right? You have to make this happen. Similarly, a business person is always dealing with customers. Your customer relationships is what you live by, but that's what you do in your jobs, and you're creating value for your customers. You're looking at data and say, what can I do? What problem can I solve for customers? Can I bring them ROI? Can I give them an experience by which they want to do something that improves their business? Maybe it is strategic. Maybe it's not an instant ROI. So don't go get hung up on the immediate ROI, because I hear a lot of people saying, I'm not getting the ROI immediately. And that's okay. Sometimes with enterprise data, when you build a pilot, just with the a small amount of data on the pilot, you might not be able to prove your ROI. The value might come with the whole volume of customer data that comes in, but you know it is at least going in the right direction. It's not going to bleed money for your business by doing this new chatbot. So that is the thinking, that you're focusing on the customer. So customer centricity, human computer interface, that's the crux of generative AI. So because of this, generative AI is super important for you as a business professional. So that's established. And as a business professional, you're not interested in learning Python, you're not interested in writing code, because that's not your job. But learning to build, I think, is very important, because there's so many jargons. So one of the things I do is demystify jargons. I like you to know what the different models are within the generative AI world. So let me go back to sharing my screen, and I will come back, guys. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to hop in and out of the share mode. So I'm going to go back to my course. I'm going to go look at the table of contents on the side, which you can see even if you have not signed up for it. And I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to tell you what this course contains and answer your questions if you have any. I'll get out of share mode, come back to LinkedIn to see the screen where this live stream is happening, where I see you and I can answer questions. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then before I go, my promise is to give the jobs and the other share topics that I do each week. I don't want to skimp on that, so I'm going to do that. And anything that I share here will be in the Jamthe newsletter. Jamthe newsletter. It is at bit.ly. So if you think where are the links she's sharing, and do I need to bookmark that or whatnot, don't worry. Jamthe newsletter. I think I did the right spelling. So that would get you that would go out on Mondays. And thank you to Pariya Sarin for sending that out. So everything that I share here is going to be there. So when I give you a bunch of jobs and stuff, don't worry about that. That's going to be it. But I want to spend this time to answer your questions, because I see more of you joining in, and I want to do justice to your time here. Okay, so we're talking about how generative AI is about generating with a human interface and what it means. Let me see, where is my window with the course? Okay, so let me go back. Yes. It is showing like a plain black screen because I paused that recording. Okay, so this is the no-code generative AI for business professionals. And you're going to build generative AI. So what it means is I start off with foundation models, and let me go expand that. So we go through a lot of different business applications and understanding capabilities of generative AI. And then I go into the building aspect, and that is where I give you the 1, 2, 3 framework.
What does it take to build generative AI products? You definitely do not need coding knowledge. What you do need is a clear understanding of your customer and the business problems that you want to solve to help both your business and your customer.
Okay, so this is my framework. I have it in my Gen AI book also. You start with the customer problem, then you see what data do you have, map it. This is like a cycle, you go back and forth. You might find some data, but then you might not be able to use the data. For those of you who are on the live stream, I told you if you don't ask me questions, I'll be asking you questions. So can you think of a situation where you have data, you have a customer problem, but you cannot use the data in enterprise? What would that be? Well, can you imagine a situation like that where you cannot use the data? So I'll come back to that. I'll have to get out of the share to see that screen to see what you're answering. And I will come back and give you the answer on that. Okay. So the question is for those of you joining new, and thank you guys. I see more and more people coming in, joining today. I appreciate this. And some of you might just come back and see this in office hour below my course. And LinkedIn has this LinkedIn office hour with a lot of different instructors who do live stream like me. So you might come back and see this later also. That's fine. As long as you're in the course area, if you see the Q&A, you can post a question and I will come and answer questions there. I do this Sudha live every Friday at 6 o'clock. So I will answer questions live if you need me to give you a live answer. So here's where we are. We are looking at to build generative AI products, and we are talking about no code. You start with the customer problem because that's what you are good at. You are the champion of the customer. And the whole idea of generative AI is it's customer centric, right? Even in how would you interface with the AI, it has a very human-centered interface. So you start with a customer problem and you find data and you map the data to the customer problem saying, I could use this data that could potentially solve this problem. And I left you with a question, if you find the data, but then you might not be able to use it, even if it solves a customer problem. And many of you who work in enterprise have run into this. I remember more than a decade ago when I had run into this. I had the customer problem. I thought I had a solution, and then I found the data. I was shocked I could not use the data in the company. So think about it. What could be a situation? I'm laughing, but it's not a happy situation. If you find the data and you cannot use it to solve your customer problem, it's a sad state. But you must have run into that. So think about this. Tell me, guys, if what could be some of that situation. So, and I'll come and answer that. As I told you, I'll stop the share, come and answer that. And then you map to Gen AI capabilities. Okay, so let me stop the share for a minute. Let me go back to the LinkedIn, to the stream and see what you're saying. Do you have an answer? So if, can you think of an example situation where you have data that can solve, I'm typing it here on the LinkedIn chat, guys. Can you solve business problem, but you cannot use the data? Okay, so I'm going to give the answer since I said I will come here and I see more people joining in. So I was asking a question that I have a framework where you for building Gen AI products, and you start with the customer problem, and then you map to the data that you have that will solve the problem, and then you map it to the Gen AI capability. That's kind of my framework, right? 3-step framework. And I was asking a question, can you think of a situation where you have a customer problem and you have a data, you find the data that can solve the problem, but you cannot use it? So the answer is, let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, so one is the data might not be clean. You don't know the lineage of the data, where it came from. You don't know whether you can trust the data. That's the most common thing. And even if you can clean it, it might be too expensive to clean the data. And it might not be justified to spend that cost. You might not be allowed to do that in your corporate roles. So that's a very common situation. Another thing is you just don't have access to the data. You don't have the rights to use the data. Maybe it's owned by a different business unit and they're not going to give it to you, or it is um, data that the customer is not given permission, right? There's a lot of privacy laws and it's GDPR, and the customer, you might have saved the data somehow. Lot of websites do that. When you go in, what you're doing, they collect your data, but you're not allowed to use the data because you don't have rights. You have to ask your customer permission to use the data. And so that's two examples that I can think of. So I actually give a worksheet in the course, in the No Code AI Generative AI course, and I tell you how to do this 1, 2, 3 framework on how to go build about Gen AI. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again, back to the course. So the way I'm doing this today is, since I promised to answer questions on this course, I'm going to go through it, give you a taste of it. So even if you want to take the course, it will give you an idea of what it is. And then if you're stuck somewhere and you're thinking about this is a good discussion. I will always come back answering questions in future live streams too. But today I'm dedicating just on answering your questions. So this is the 1, 2, 3 framework we're talking about. And then I have a worksheet so you can go through the exercise, right? And then the other thing I do is I don't like people to finish my course and feel intimidated about any jargon. So I demystify jargons. I tell you what is pre-training, what is fine-tuning, what are inference models. We do a bunch of demos. We are doing one. I love this one with Akio, where you can talk to your data with a GPT chatbot. So that is one and if you have taken any of my previous courses, the no code course, which is this one. Let me go back, get you the exact name, because I was sharing that in a screen earlier, right? I think I have that screen handy. Let me get out of that. Yeah, the other window you were seeing is actually a voice flow, voice assistant, no code AI tool that I was using to do something else with it. I use a lot of no code AI tools. I play with them all the time. So let me go this other windows. Let me go through this. So my other no code AI course, where you will learn machine learning, right? That is the one where I was, where you might have been introduced to IKEO from me. And even in the no code for connected products, I use Akio, but I'm using all that for machine learning. So, but Akio is also integrated with GPT 3.5 and GPT-4. I have no affiliation with any brand, any company. I'm not marketing for any of them. I'm giving you examples that will make life easy for me to tell you how to learn this lesson, and for you to go potentially try that, if that makes sense for you. Okay, so I want to wrap up this segment on what the course contains, and then I'll come back to the opportunities that we always discuss. So this is the no code, no dash code, the no code generative AI for business professionals. I was telling you about the 1, 2, 3 framework for building AI Gen AI products, right? Starting with your customer problem. Then we have a bunch of, I give you a data set, and you talk to the data set using no code. And then we build out an whole AI assistant to do summarization. So one of the capabilities of Gen AI when you get into the large language models is it can chat with you. That's why I was asking you, is chatbot everything? Sometimes it's not just the chatbot. It can do summarizations for you, right? It can do machine translation for you. Each of it are different capabilities of LLM. So we do a bunch of demos on the various tools, no code AI tools, and then I give you challenges and solutions, and that's part of the course. And then the other topic that even recently Professor Andrew Nenges has been talking about is included in my course, called the concept of agent AI. And I give you a no-code AI tool called Agent GPT, by which you can build autonomous AI agent. So the idea is, it's not a linear thing. You just take one tool and it just solves the problem for you, right? For your enterprise to solve your customer problem. You might want it to go off, do some automations in the background, and come back. So that is the whole idea of the Agent GPT. I would urge you to play with Agent GPT. I've done demos of Agent GPT even in other places. And then the important question on, what does it cost me? What is token cost? How do I think about it? What are the ethics of this? Should I use open source or closed source platforms? And the most important topic in generative AI is hallucination. When you get an answer, how do you believe whether it is the right answer? How do you think about this, right? And then a very hot topic is fine-tuning and RAG. When you're using your own data set within the company. So if you're using your company data, right? I told you, take your customer data, use your data, and your map to the capability. So if you're using your own data from the company, you don't want to put it out in the public internet. So this concept of RAG is, you use a data source as an external intermediary between the customer and your LLM. And so that is RAG. And the other concept of fine tuning is, you teach the LLM to behave to have the right tone and attitude, to learn the language of your industry. If you're a travel chatbot, then it needs to know the language of travel. If it is a hotel chatbot, it needs to know the language of hotel industry. If it is an education chatbot and it is acting like a TA for students, it needs to talk like a TA, and it has to know the courses and the subjects, and that's very specific to your business. All that comes under fine tuning. So the fine tuning and RAG is the two hot jargons you will hear, terms in this Gen AI world. So I just demystify all that. I give you like examples for you to play with some of those. So that is what essentially we are doing in this whole course. I think you can do it in an hour, and I think they tell you 1 hour and 2 minutes. So I'm going to go back to the course window because I was trying to find out what is the name of the course. No, that's not the window. Stop. Okay, I'm coming back to restream again. Okay. Okay. So RAG is one and fine tuning is another. Fine dash tuning, just like a no code or in the no code world. Okay, I am done with the course thing that I was showing you. So I would like you to ask me questions, or I'll switch to the other segment, which is my usual segment. Okay, so you want to know where the course is? Okay. In the beginning, when we got started, I was telling you where the course is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you that link. Okay. Let me post that. Okay. My courses are here. Okay. I think the easiest way would be to search for my name and then find the courses from there. And what I've done is I've made the newest no code, no dash code generative AI for business professional course free from LinkedIn. So as soon as you click, for the next 24 hours, the course will be free. So the easiest way to get to it is go to my profile, and I made this course as a featured link. That link will actually get you, because I've shared it as an author. It'll just give you the course for 24 hours for free, and you can take it. It course will require an hour to do that. So for if you're watching this, that's the easiest way to get started. And then I am interested in not just telling you this is the table of content and this is what you need to learn. I want you to take that, apply that. I want to hear what you're doing with this in your company. So if you're building a chatbot, what kind of chatbot are you building? If you're building machine translation, what are you building? If you're summarizing, what are you summarizing? And one of the things I keep saying in all my courses is whatever you do, there is an AI tool that will make life easy for you, and you can just play with it, talk to it, right? So let me demonstrate that right here. So you saw on my own profile. Let me go there. So what I'm going to show you is you are able to, anything you want to do, you're just going to go and get the AI to do that for you. That's the promise I'm giving you, right? Where is that window? Don't want to go to my own live stream. I just want to go to my profile to show you a post, because I'm going to show you how the summarization works, right? So if you go, let me get out of these windows. I'm just going to go to a new LinkedIn window. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to go look at my own profile. And I go to my profile because I find it easier, but I would want to show you things that I have rights to share because I'm streaming it here, right? I was talking to you about GDPR and whatnot, so I can show you things that I don't have rights to share. So that's the reason you see me. Oh, I see. When I went to my profile, I'm seeing my video and I'm like, I don't want to show my video. But I realized that the live stream shows up on my profile. I did not know that, guys. Okay, so you can just go to my profile and click and join the live stream. Boy, no, I didn't know that. Okay, so basically I wanted to show you I was telling you anything you want to learn, and you see my course, and you say I'm talking about LLM capability, and one of them is live stream, and you go not live stream. One of the capabilities summarization. Won't it be cool if the LinkedIn live stream can happen just using a LLM? That'll be cool. Because right now, I think the LLMs are capable of generating videos, generating images, but it's in very early stages. Live stream could happen too. But I don't think there's a tool that will do live stream. That's a Gen AI tool. So, okay. So what I was trying to show you is I came to my profile. You can go to any profile. I wanted to show you. So this is where I've done. If you scroll down, it shows featured. And in my featured link, I have my course here. And this is the newest one. So if you click that, you will get 24 hours free, and you can take that course. But what I wanted to show you, if you look at my activity, let me go to my post, right? You can take any post. I just wanted to take my post to make a point, right, about summarization, right? Let me find a post. Okay, here is a good one, right? Here I shared a post from Professor Virginia Dignam. Okay, and let me go to that post. Can we go to the post here? Right here. No. Oh, it's right here. I don't even need to get away from here. So the point I wanted to make is, if you want to understand Gen AI capabilities, and I'm saying, hey, it does summarization, and I'm giving you tools in my course, and I'm saying, how do you get a summary of a video? How do you get a summary of any point, right? Any kind of meeting, any kind of article, those things exist. But if you want to just understand that, look around. Anything that you're using, there is AI. So that's the point I wanted to make. So I've come to a post that is my own post, share from a repost I did from Professor Virginia Dignam, right? And she's saying, I'm honored to speak at the 27th session of the Commission of Science and Technology in UN, right? And I'm going to go to her post instead of doing this with my own post, okay? Because she's shared this publicly, I think I can repost or comment on that, right? So she's basically saying that there is this Commission on Science and Technology for Development in the United States, and she had presented in this here, and she emphasized the necessity of global AI governance to ensure responsible and equitable development and deployment. So if you scroll down, LinkedIn has added a capability, and this is an AI summarization. It says, what is equitable, robust, and transparent data governance? Why is it necessary? So when you do that, what they're doing is they immediately are going to a search engine, and they are getting you a summary of that topic. Next, you say, what is global AI governance? Why is it necessary? Okay. What is UNCAD's mission? She's talking about speaking at UNCAD, and then you say, what is UNCAD? So any kind of questions. And the thing with intelligent chatbots is, once you ask a question, they retain context. That's the other thing that I keep telling you about, right? That's why they're called intelligent chatbots. So you can actually continue the conversation, and they're giving you more questions. How does UNCAD support developing countries? So it's going off in a different direction. Let me see. What is its role in clean energy? So they are giving you some questions, or you don't need to take those questions. You can make up your own questions, and you say, who is governing? Yeah, pretty open-ended. Let's see what it says. So you can go from a conversation. So with every LinkedIn post that's out there, and I'm not marketing this for LinkedIn, though I work on LinkedIn Learning and do courses there. I find that the way that, and I'm very critical on things that I don't like, and I love things that I like, and you can see that very transparently. I love this capability of adding summary, because I've seen a lot of summary that has been shown up in reviews and things like that. People are trying to figure out how to do summary. So what they've done is, when you're learning how to build Gen AI, and we're talking about mapping your customer problem to your data to arrive um, to map to the Gen AI capability, and we said machine translation, summarization, chatbot, Q&A, right? are the three things that we are talking about. That's a very common one. And a lot of chatbots you see. So don't think of that as just chatbot. I learned Gen AI and I'm going to build chatbots. So what a lot of people were doing is they were doing summarization because that was an easy thing. So what LinkedIn has done here is they are showing a summarization out of every post. So anything you see in LinkedIn, that's a post by anybody, you'll have a bunch of questions and you click those questions and you'll find the answer that's been brought from the chatbots, from the search engines, right? And then it continues on into a chatbot, right? And then it says, why is AI ethics important? I mean, you can come up with, so you can take any topic. If you want to understand the context of what they're talking, you can click on the questions they're giving leadingly. Once it starts answering, you can go off and ask more questions. So it's a very nice way of learning new stuff. I find that amazing with every topic because there's so much content and post that you're seeing. I find that that's a beautiful implementation. For me, I think it's a useful as a tool because I'm here to teach you AI opportunities and tools and events and jobs, but I want to give you tools by which you can go continue your learning and challenge things. Don't just say, okay, she says three things I need to map, I'll go map three things, right? Think about, how you're going to start with what capability and how would you build this if you see this. So one, play with every AI that's in front of you. Second, as you're learning this concept, you say, where will I apply this? Give me an example of who's applying it. And then look at the AI that you're using, every single tool that you're using. If you're using any kind of messaging on your phone, any kind of website that you're using, any kind of social platform that you're using, any kind of tool that you're using in your companies, every one of them has AI integrated these days. So, and you will see is this now that you've learned in my course that about the LLM capabilities, you say, are they doing summarization? Are they doing machine translation? Are they doing a Q&A? Is this chatbot maintaining the context? Are they doing fine tuning? How did they build this chatbot? Are they doing fine tuning? What did they do? What could have they done with the fine tuning data set? What did they do? If I were going to do fine tuning and I was a business person, what kind of data would I give this chatbot to talk and behave the way I want it to behave? Are they doing RAG? What kind of data source they must be using? How are they protecting it? Why are they protecting it? What is their compliance thing? So there's a lot of questions you can ask and dig and go find your own answers. So that's my advice to you. So what I'm going to do is, let me check on a time. So now I'm going to show you the list of jobs and stuff that I have collected for you. Okay. So the thing I have in terms of jobs is I promised that I will find more student jobs. So I have, there is a software engineering intern from Juniper. There's a bunch of intern jobs, especially had a bunch of students who came in and I've been asking for that. There is, uh, I use Duolingo to learn Spanish. I'm beginning to learn a little bit of Italian, all on Duolingo. So I was very thrilled to see learning designer. They have a job called learning designer for math or learning designer for music. So how do you do learning design for an AI and for a company that is teaching you language translation? So it's called senior learning designer are the two jobs. And then I also see there's a senior partner development specialist for generative AI machine learning at AWS. AI now has two different jobs on AI ethics and policy. Dr. Jude King has 6 summer research positions in AI and mathematical modeling at the University of Toronto. I would definitely work with Jude King if I had an opportunity. So I would recommend you to follow Professor King. And what I will do is, as I promised earlier, everything that I'm just suggesting here is going to be a link that is shared on Sudha Live. Um, and then this week there was the Intel Vision 2024 conference. And some of you have attended the NVIDIA conference. And so it's a very interesting category of business that's evolving with AI chip business. And it's not just like AI chip, and in the past, it used to be something that you did not even get to see. Now there is a layer of software on it, and there's a developer network on it, and then they connects to the cloud, and they have their own platforms that does a lot of different things. There's a whole entire tech stack that is built on top of that. So there's interesting things. So I would look out for it. I don't believe the Intel AI chip has launched a platform like that. It's purely B2B, so I've not seen that. If you were at the Intel Vision conference, and I saw some of you shared excited videos of meeting friends, but on the content of the conference, I've not seen enough. So if you were there, I would like to learn more from it and compare it with what was in NVIDIA. So I'll appreciate that. Um, there was CAIDP hosted a conversation with UNESCO's Gabrielio Ramos on ethics of AI on global standards. So one of the things, the AI ethics is a very vast field. I myself teach the AI ethics principles and responsible AI and focus on responsible AI because I'm focusing on building AI, right? So I focus on fairness and explainability. And Yashashwini works with me on that topic because that's her specialty. And but periodically we see this whole bunch of regulation and different acts and stuff in the AI ethics world. So it can be very overwhelming. I see people either discounting that, but I see a lot of responsible AI jobs coming in. So the newest thing that I saw in this week is a lot of standardization. There's a lot of discussion about standardization. So the CAIDP, let me show you that. The CAIDP thing was about implementation of UNESCO's global standards. And this was an event that was hybrid and online. The in-person was in Washington, D.C. And so I was like, okay, there's a standardization of ethics, right? That is happening. That looks interesting. And then I found that there was another event. Let me go find that. Jude King event. Let me see. Yeah, I think I don't have it here. I need to find that for you. So there was another event on the whole standardization. You have to see this, guys. Let me find that. Yes, I'm going to copy that link. Do you guys have this? I can copy my link from my phone and then and carry it to my laptop here. I brought it back here. Let me share the screen back again. So I was telling you about one standardization event that was happening, right? And this is another event. So there's G7 countries get together and do a G7 summit. And there was a G7 summit of standardization. And you might have heard Frenzy Clement, she heads Women in AI for Canada. And you might have heard her speak, and she did a whole panel on Gen AI at IoT Women on April 9th at Business School of AI. I was part of that. And Frenzy spoke at this G7 summit representing Canada, along with Chantal Gouet, who is the CEO of the Standards Council of Canada. And if you scroll through that, you will find the LinkedIn, I keep saying LinkedIn. Whenever I say live, I keep saying LinkedIn because I'm doing LinkedIn Live. This is the live stream of this event that happened here, and it is on YouTube. And Frenzy's session was at minute 48. She's put it in here. I actually had a bunch of reading materials on my Jamthe newsletter. This one is worth it with the various representatives of the G7 countries coming together on how to standardize this whole regulation and ethics for AI. And so that was very well done. So that is something that I would like you to check it out. So the standardization was one topic I saw. And then there is the whole there's a lot of different examples of interesting things. So there is an event called The Role of Technology in Security and Resilience of Small States, focused on Estonia, that Stanford is hosting on April 28th. Women in Data Science Bangalore is coming up in summer in June with their own conference at Intuit, I believe. There's a bunch of stuff that happened and a lot more events that is coming up. A lot of thing is based on teaching. So since I showed you about courses, I don't want to just give you more courses and stuff. There is a partner development, senior partner development specialist job at AWS I was telling you about. The Jude King one I told you. There was one other interesting job. I don't want to miss sharing that with you while I'm here. Okay. Let me come back to the stream. Okay. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you find this interesting, tell me, because students told me you're not giving me student jobs. And so I found a bunch of interns. If there's specific kind of jobs that you're interested, I can find that for you. And also there's a pattern. Sometimes I see a bunch of PM jobs. Sometimes I see a bunch of responsible AI jobs. I'm seeing a lot of internships jobs. But also I like when I'm looking for these jobs, I'm always thinking about what am I teaching in my courses, what my students are asking me about. I kind of map to that. And so this one, it's an internship, but I found that very fascinating because the big thing in enterprise is open source or not and closed platform discussions, right? So this is a research engineer in generative AI, open source LLM models, data science. It's a handful. This title is a handful. This is in Neo. It's in the automotive industry, so that's interesting for me. And it is about fine-tuning models. So again, I was telling you about how LinkedIn has integrated generative AI so it can do summarization and chatbots. So you can actually click and say, am I a good fit for this job? Isn't that amazing? And you can say, how can I best position myself for this job? And tell me more about Neo, the company. If you're asking that, then I'm not going to say whether I'm a fit for this job and stuff because it's going to go back to my profile and go find things. But that's a very intelligent way of incorporating generative AI, because that's what LinkedIn has been doing, right? It has information about us, our profile information, and all that. Based on that, they say do an application, and they'll say you're a fit in this category, and they give you a lot of data for if you have a LinkedIn Premium. And now they made it into a chatbot, which means they've done RAG. So that's how I would like you to think about it. Are they doing fine tuning? Are they doing RAG? How will I do this? How will I implement product? That's a very nice way of thinking about this. And as you're going about building this, I would urge you to try this exercise on the post, on the jobs, on anything you see, or you're going through your work. Because one of the things I was telling you is it's a very powerful skill to ask questions. And some of my students who are very successful in navigating exponential technologies, their superpower is to ask questions. And I've given this, I think I spoke about this in my career panel on IoT Women, that one of my students who wanted to move to AI went and interviewed within the company, and they said, all this is great, but you don't know Python, and they didn't take her for the job. And then she went off and did her own thing. And as they were building out AI from her business unit, she kept asking them questions on what are they doing, what kind of things are they going to add, and always thinking about her customer in a very nice, curious way, not in a malicious way. And it evolved into a whole new job role for her. And she has her job, which she was doing already, but it has an AI component added to it. And then she told me my superpower was just to ask them questions, because when you ask questions, you already have your business acumen. So that's one thing that I was thinking about when I was building out this no code AI, generative AI course. As I'm collecting things for you to say AI resources, here are opportunities, and to keep learning and applying for jobs and calls and stuff like that. Um, when you're learning something with no code, the word no code means like you don't code, as if it's a negative thing. And I was thinking, why am I teaching people to do anything with no code? Who are these people? What is the purpose of my teaching? And I realized that you bring value from your job role. If you're a designer, if you are this business person who cares about the customer, you understand the customer, you understand what has worked in the past, what kind of things will not work. You know what kind of data is good data. You will look at data and know it is trustworthy data or clean data, because you know to ask questions. And so you will be able to poke around and say, this doesn't make sense, and where is this other thing? And you can ask questions from your business acumen. And that is what you're going to bring. And then you're going to prove your hypothesis using no code tools. And that is the easiest way to think about how you're learning generative AI. When I say build generative AI, I'm not asking you to go become a data scientist or a machine learning engineer, or even build this without the data scientist or the IT team in there. But you can validate your hypothesis. You can see whether it is worth it to go fight for money to go build a pilot, or you can validate some idea and go pitch this to a customer, potential customer, who would want to go work with you on some new generative AI technology or platform or something that you're bringing to the table. So think about it. Your business acumen and knowledge, what you bring, With that, you ask questions. With that, you can make sense of the data. You can figure out where you will create value from the data, and then you go make things happen, right? So that is the value of using no code. I'm pitching here for no code in general, but what I want you to think about it that way, right? And so before I wrap up, I'm going to do one last check if you have a burning question. And tell me if you're working, if you have taken any of my no-code courses, if you are, even if you're new considering this course or taking this course, or if you're just working with AI in industry and you are this profile of this no-code person, help me validate this. This is my thinking from the thousands of students that I have taught. And I think it's superpower of my students to be able to ask smart questions, find value from data, and make that connection, be very innovative. And they're so amazing, creative people. So I want you to tell me, if is this what you do? And is this how you applied what you've learned from no code? Is this how you use the no code AI tool? Is there something else I don't know about? I would like to learn from you to see whether there's a different way by which you use no code. Then I will bring that to you in my future classes, in future activities and stuff that I bring for you. So before I go, I have a couple things. I told you about the Intel AI chip. I don't know have details of that. I told you about how CAIDP has hosted this convention at UNESCO's Gabrielias Ramos, right? Standardization, I told you about that. There is in Ghana. Let me look at that. There is an interesting thing that's happening. Two more things I want to share with you, and then I'm going to leave for the weekend. Okay, here we go. So this is from Joshua Opoku Agemang. And this is a news from Ghana. And what they have is they have something called Ghana Education Services, and they are collaborating with Joshua. And Joshua is part of this IoT Network Hub Africa. And they are coming up with a whole series of STEM education and a whole STEM festival. That's what this is. That is the STEM festival that is coming up. And I think it was today. It was the beginning was today. So if you've already attended that, I would like to learn an update from you. So I wanted to share that. And then there is one other thing. I think there was a very interesting hub. I told you about the software intern at Juniper, the learning designer at Duolingo. Let me see. There was Neo job. I'm very intrigued about it because it's a electric autonomous vehicle. So I'm always intrigued about that. Estonia one, I told you about that. Let me see. There was one more I was looking. I'm going to stop the share and see whether I can find. So this is my friend Menon. I'm going to just find it for you. Menon. I was actually debating whether I should start this whole live stream just with Menon's share of what she was showing, because that was very intriguing for me. But I decided that I will wait. Yes, this is the one. I found it, guys. I'm so excited. Okay, so Menon works in the police department, and she's an innovator in the focused on data and IoT. So she also runs the SenseMaker lab in Amsterdam. Okay, so that's the context. And I'm going to do a translation using a lovely AI to help me. Okay, so this is Manon Den Dunen, and I would highly recommend you follow her. She's amazing, amazing person. In fact, some of you might have heard Manon come in and present at Weekly Wednesday a couple years back, where she told us it was on the topic of fake news. It was about fake video, fake images, and before the world generative AI existed, and before ChatGPT launched. And she was talking about, how they're doing this. So she's always looking at cutting edge new technologies and then figuring out how it will help people, hurt people, how to, uh, she's not focused on regulation. She's in the police department to work collaboratively with people, right? So she's this is about, and in fact, in my generative AI book, Manon wrote the foreword for that book. So that chapter, that couple pages she wrote as a forward is beautiful. So I would recommend, looking at it and looking her at her work. So what they have done is they've created something called Hub 50. It's their innovation building in Utrecht. And so basically, they've created this Politiverse. So for the police department to actually create, so the clones of themselves. So, the whole concept is they're peeping fake people and fake clones of people and whatnot. And to even understand what is possible, anybody can go create that for themselves and try it out. So that is this thing. They are doing this as a close collaboration with Mao and Rebecca, and they're experiencing the Rebellium app for developing digital humans. So I think it's just a music. It's almost like a Terminator, right? But this is like a hub that they've created where they will create the digital avatar for themselves. And this is obviously a police department, so you can see a police person. Look at them, how they're turning and walking very deliberately. Okay, two virtual clones are having a conversation. So, congratulations to the Hub 50 team for not waiting for somebody to create digital clones and fake personas and dealing with that to kind of react on it, and then to proactively think about this. So it was kind of scary when I saw that first, and it's like, but then, that's the whole idea of technology, and people are doing this. It's feasible, it's possible. And then what do? You better proactively figure out what is possible, what are the things it can do, and then what are the things that you need to stop, what are the things they want to protect citizens from as a police department, is what Menon is looking at. And her team is looking at. So I thought that was very fascinating. And she put this out in there and said, she's put this out to her group of people who interact with her, and said, are you a colleague, or do you have questions or ideas, and approach me. So I thought that was fantastic. So thank you for sharing that, man, and so I appreciate that. Okay, so one last time I'm going to check whether you have questions, comments. I see you as another number still, but thank you for hanging around. I appreciate that. Thank you for the many emojis I got along the way. I appreciate that too. So you can tag a friend, you can come back, watch this, post questions. Within the couple days, as long as it sends me notification, I'll come back and answer your questions. Otherwise, I'll see you again next week, and then we can continue our conversation. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Hope you're able to, enjoy my course and learn no code AI. And if you've already learned no code generative AI for business professionals, if you're already learned that, then I would, if you've already taken the course, I would urge you to, talk to me. Tell me what you're working on, right? Tell me what kind of things are you doing with it? What kind of things do you want to do with it? And as you're going and applying this, especially if you're one of those people who have taken the course and you're trying to do something at work and you feel like, she taught me all this, but I'm not able to do this other thing. I want to know, and I will give you an answer. I will find you how you can make this existing framework of starting customer capability, mapping to the data and to the LLM capability to actually build what you want and go solve your problem. And there might be, and we thought, we talked about how one of the things it has is agent AI. So I might give you an example to just do a simple automation. And if you think about Amazon's chatbot Rufus, what they're doing is a bunch of things in the background. They have RAG, they have the front end, they have fine-tuned it. With the chatbot, they must have RAG, they must have automated agents. They've combined a whole bunch of things. So you need to bring a bunch of these together to do some complex architecture stuff. And even as a business person, I think you have a role to play to figure out how the flow happens, because you're thinking about your customer, and generative AI makes it very, very easy to keep the customer at the center of this. So the experience does not get complex, or there's not enough, too much latency in the customer type something and then it goes thinking and gets the answer. So there's a lot of stuff that goes in, but I think you have all the basic tools that you need within my course. And if you're trying to do something, I'm curious always to see what my students are doing, and I'm always here to help. So with that, I am going to wrap up. And somebody who took this course with me was saying, one of the students came back and said they actually liked how I closed it. So I thought that might be a good way for me to close that with you also today. So I'm going to go back to the course, and I'm going to go to the conclusion. Yes.
Congratulations. Now
This
that
is
you've
for people who
finished
have
this
taken the
course,
course, guys.
you can solve business problems using generative AI with no code. You have learned a framework to build Gen AI products and build chatbots, got Gen AI to summarize videos and documents, and even built an autonomous agent AI, all with no code. I'm happy to help you continue your learning journey. Follow me on LinkedIn, where I share a weekly Sudha Live.
That's where you
about
are.
AI opportunities. You can read my book, Generative AI, a primer for product and business managers. Also, check out sudhajamthe.com for lots of learning resources, my talks, research, the Jamthe newsletter, and weekly web, a global speaker series for my students. Finally, I invite you to take my LinkedIn learning course, AI in Connected Products, AIoT, to learn more about AI models. And remember, the best part is that you have the superpower to focus on your customer. Thank you for including me to be part of your AI learning journey. And remember, I'm here to help.
Okay, guys. So with that, I'm going to wrap up for today. Thank you for hanging around with me. I appreciate it. And keep me posted on if you have more questions, or if you're doing something interesting, or you're stuck with doing something interesting, we'll continue our discussion. And the jobs, and I have a bunch of events. I just didn't want to list out events, just like ramble on, but all of that, and then reading material and Frenzy Clement's talk, the whole 1 hour would be good. Frenzy Clement is at minute 48. All of that will be at the Jamthe newsletter that will go out on Monday night. And the next weekly Wednesday is going to be on data triangulation. And that is how you get validation whether the data is good or bad. I was telling you, if you get data, but you can't trust the data in your company, how are you going to do that? One of the things you do is data triangulation. That's a method. There are 3 different approaches. And Sneha Jadhav is going to come talk to us about that at Weekly Wed. So if you are following Business School Business School of AI on LinkedIn, you will get the weekly web post, you will get the live streams, you'll get all of the notifications. I'm not going to personally be sharing all these notifications because I'm doing more courses for you, but I'm happy to come in here and answer your questions on Friday. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you online, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Ciao.